We are back again with Just Candid Season 3, and this time we have with us a very special war hero, I would say, a person who is an army hero, a person whose story of resilience, inspiration, and courage. Let me introduce you with Major Pall Singh Toor. Welcome to Chitkara University, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It is our honor that
Thank
you are here with
Sumeer
us. And we had a very beautiful talk of yours with our students.
Yes.
How did you find the vibe here at Chitkara?
Bubbling with energy,
Yeah.
especially positivity. Because you see, when you begin the interactions, so the vibes are checked by the questions that are thrown at you. So they were quite positive, vibrant, nice, and you know that soothing feeling of the ambience around. So that creates the atmosphere. So I felt good, you know. I was like, let's go. Let's do this.
Thank you. And we saw some of the, NCC cadets and wannabe army people,
Yes.
young students,
Yes.
thronging around you, wanting to talk to you.
Yes.
उनको मिलके आपको कैसा लगा?
मुझे, see, when I met them, I felt good, obviously, because being such a large populated nation in today's times,
Yeah.
and you see so many volunteers and youngsters wanting to join the organization,
Yeah.
you know, it gives me a sense of pride and a sense of honor when I see these youngsters, because मैं इनकी जगह एक टाइम पे था. I was from 3 NCC Gujarat Battalion.
Right.
So NCC में मैं भी था. I have also gone through exactly जो ये लोग अभी they are going through. So their blueprint of the questions जो ये मेरे पे अभी पूछ रहे थे मेरे से, तो यही सेम सवाल उस टाइम मेरे मन में भी आते थे. So I was able to correlate so
you
well.
could correlate, understand the pulse. You can study in a nutshell what's going behind their mind and what's going inside their mind.
Exactly, especially the pressure part.
So you could connect.
Yes.
Now you joined the Indian Army in 2010, correct?
Yes, yes.
And which year did you hang up your boots?
2021.
21.
Yes.
Was there a reason, or what was brewing in your mind?
There were multiple reasons. First, one of the major reasons was, out of 11 years of service,
Yeah.
8 years have been in constant combat situations. So एक ख्याल आता था कि I mean my father's a retired colonel, तो वो भी बोलते थे कि यार how long will your luck be with you? I'm talking practical.
Very, very practical. Yeah.
So he said, yeah, let's be real here. How long will your luck be with you, number one? So I
Yeah.
said, yeah, that's destiny, Dad.
Yeah.
We'll fight it out. तो पंजाबी च की होंदा कि ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेनी. Let's go and do this.
Yeah.
And the consequences we'll manage later. So वो वाला mindset सीखा कि चलो वेखी जाऊगी. Let's go with the flow. But then in 2021, when I was blessed with my younger son,
Yeah.
so that is the time when I realized that will I be able to manage my finances, and am I going to be able to cope up with it?
The family responsibilities were coming to you.
They increased actually.
Yeah.
And so then I took a call, and so he was born on the 6th. On 8th, I put up my papers. That, okay, now, like, I've given, in fact, I gave everything to the nation that I had.
Yeah.
With your body, being pushed beyond limits, psychologically being pushed
Actually,
beyond limits.
you're very right, being pushed beyond limits. Your
Yes.
tenure and stint in South Sudan,
Yes.
which is quite a story that has inspired the
John Abraham
great
Productions.
Bollywood actor
Yes.
John Abraham to make a film.
Yes.
And sort of curate your your story and make a biopic out of it.
Yes.
So we'll talk about it. But coming back, being the 4th generation in the forces,
Yes.
were there more expectations building up in the family?
They always were.
They always.
They always were. They, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Himachal. These are states which have taken it upon themselves, duty bound,
Right.
to carry forward the legacy of their families in the forces. So it's become more of a sacred ritual to carry on.
Right.
So it's not a profession anymore.
Right.
It's a way of life.
Right.
I mean, I can say that every brick of my house
Yeah.
is courtesy the Indian Army, because of the
That
generations
was-
of my forefathers, my grandfather,
Yeah.
then my father's elder brother, my Tayaji,
Yeah.
then my dad,
Yeah.
now myself. So we owe so much.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm thankful and I pray to God that, you know, we were blessed to remain physically fit
Yeah.
and mentally, you know, we were good,
Yeah.
so that we could be capable enough to qualify for the basic standards and requirements to get into the forces.
Yeah, capable also and take the leadership forward
Exactly.
and the torch forward.
Yes.
With the same passion and wit and
And
might.
destiny, you can say,
Yeah.
because till my college days, thanks to God, there were no major injuries.
Yeah.
There was nothing that happened which would have barred me from joining the forces.
Right. While you were talking to our Chitkara students in your session, you mentioned something very beautiful, that don't go with the flow, be the flow.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate on that statement? It was so beautiful.
See, now with the pressures coming up in today's
Yeah.
lifestyle and times
Yeah.
and this era, so people want to, I'm trying to tell them not to be the sheep.
Right.
Don't go with the herd, you know, but you got to lead the herd. I mean, don't go with the flow, be the flow, be
Right.
the leader. Be the leader to lead the herd,
Right.
but don't become a part of the herd. So that is mainly my focus, that they have to be leaders. They are not necessarily that they have to be led by someone.
So they have to chalk their own path.
It's time that they took things in their own hands,
Stride, yeah.
in terms of their life,
Right.
in terms of their decision making process,
Right.
in terms of they following a certain pattern and schedule of their day-to-day life.
So that schedule and pattern for the students is very critical at this point in time.
Yes,
And you also mentioned it's now, start now.
yeah, because if they don't imbibe it now,
Yeah.
at the epitome of their adolescence,
Yeah.
you know, they're in college now.
Yeah.
After this, probably they're going to face ground reality the day when the convocation is going to take place.
Yeah.
And their job interviews.
Right.
So that is where. So
That's the day.
the reality check.
Reality check.
So I'm preparing them for reality check.
Right.
So they got to work hard and strive now. Now is the time. The one who slogs now is going to roam around in a Range Rover Defender.
Yeah.
And who's going to take it easy,
Extended one. Yeah.
who's going to take it easy and chill out, then probably God is also going to be chilled out and going to go with the
Yeah,
flow.
you're very practical.
Yeah, I am a very practical.
By the way, how do you find our campus?
It's amazing. It's state of the art,
Yeah.
and it's very big, very good.
Yeah.
And this is the exact environment that in today's times what students are looking for, you know, away from the
Hustle, bustle.
the urban noise.
Yeah.
I'd rather call it urban noise.
Yeah.
So it's away from the urban noise. It's located at a very calm, quiet, and a pleasant place.
Yeah.
It's going to facilitate more of focus
Yeah.
and you know, streamlining one's thought process, and basically you're giving the perfect ambience and atmosphere for education to a child.
Now, since you liked it,
Yes,
do you think next time we see you with John Abraham here,
definitely.
we'll talk about it?
We will,
I
and
got a thought around it.
I will convince him, and we are definitely going to visit.
Now, coming on to your movie thing, how did John Abraham get in touch with you? Or how was it that this movie is coming 2026, I
Yeah,
believe?
2026 last quarter,
Okay,
oblique 2027 first quarter.
right. Have they named it? No, not yet.
Yeah, they've named it, the movie's name is Malakal.
Malakal.
Yeah.
Oh, because that's the place
That's the place where the operation and the war took
in
place.
South Sudan.
Yes.
Right.
And we were embedded there, 8 Rajputana rifles,
Yeah.
my unit.
Yeah.
So
and
we
it's
were-
one of the most prestigious units.
Yeah, it's
No
one.
offenses to any other unit, but this is one of the most
Yes, because we fought wars pre-independence. We
stories of valor.
valor, yes.
Yeah.
And one of our main enemies that we faced were the Japanese
Yeah.
in World War II, in Arakan Ops. So Japanese were one of the most formidable and most strong forces during World War II, which they gave a tough time to the Americans as well.
Right.
So they reached up to Burma, and Rathedong Ridge was the last ridge. After that, they would have entered India. So that was the last stand where ahead of Kohima, where 8 Rajputana rifles
Rifles.
under Colonel N.E.I. Pocock led the battle, and we fought it. It came to hand combat.
That's very, very interesting. I think
Yes.
very interesting history. You know, really, really gives you that sort of conviction
Yes.
to look back and then make a path forward. So we were talking about the movie and the central location, Malakal, South Sudan.
Yes.
But what triggered, what sort of excited you to say a yes, and who reached out to you? How is this movie happening?
See, Waleji, this UN mission was special because firstly we took a lot of collateral damage. There was a lot of loss of life and sacrifice.
Right.
And it is due to share respect for our martyrs and our ancestors, veterans,
Right.
because of whom we were present there for that operation.
Right.
We
right.
were seen as capable enough and competent enough because of the sacrifices of our ancestors.
Right.
So
In
one of
that
the
same area,
no, as a
general.
Pulton, as a unit.
as a unit, in
And,
general.
and you know, only when the whole unit does collectively well,
Right.
that it is shortlisted for a assignment for United Nations.
Right.
Because you're going there as an ambassador of the
Country.
tricolor
Yeah, tricolor, the
of,
country.
of a nation.
Yes. yes.
So there's a lot of responsibility, and you know it takes many years for the unit to come to that level of perfection and to perform.
Right. Major Summer,
And
now what gives you a kick when you see these youngsters, the future of the country, these cadets? What are you feeling right now at Chitkara University with these soldiers, future soldiers from the university? coming?
I've gone back in time. I've
Yeah.
gone back probably you could say 15 years back.
Really?
I've gone back to the year 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
And that is the time when
You were preparing.
I wore the same uniform as the Army Wing uniform, the
Right.
khaki one. And
Makes
I,
you-
I had my own colleagues who were in the Navy Wing and the Air Wing. So yeah, it's a matter
It's
of
quite a
immense
moment
pride.
for you now.
Yes, yes, I'm reliving my past by looking at these youngsters.
Yeah.
And oh, I mean, it's giving me immense happiness and a feeling of pride and nostalgia, yes.
Yeah. There is nostalgia.
Yes, yes,
There
definitely.
are emotions, and there is a sort of a feeling to look back in time.
A big connect.
A big connect.
Big connect.
Big connect.
Big connect.
Now, from army, serving the country, now to entrepreneurship,
Yes.
creating jobs.
Yes.
And that also in a very niche field of drone manufacturing,
Yes.
working with technology, working with AI, robotics, engineering, electronics, programming, software programming.
Everything, you
That's
name
your
it, it's
venture
there.
now.
Yes.
Zulu.
Yes,
Is
Zulu
that your
Defense.
venture, right?
Yes.
Zulu.
Yes.
So you make drones and
Kamikaze drones.
kamikaze drones. Tell us more about what are the career options in this field for our students at Chitkara University.
I mean, the options are endless now,
Yeah.
especially if you see, there are subjects like material science.
Right.
So earlier, this subject wasn't given much relevance, but with time, you know, material science is coming up in a big way.
Right.
So I would suggest to the institution at Chitkara University to get in the field of material science.
We
Then
do have. We do have.
You do
we
have.
do
Then aeronautical engineering. So then even you could say marine engineering because
We do have marine engineering, which is a separate strong wing.
Perfect,
we
perfect.
will
That's
look
great.
forward
Yes.
to someday have an interaction of yours with our cadets there.
Definitely.
We do have marine engineering. Yeah.
So you see now the drones are dominating the air and simultaneously the marine drones have also come in which are going to operate underwater, and these are remote controlled, these are unmanned, and
that's something amazing. Yeah.
yes, yes, I mean whatever, I mean you negate the pilot from the aircraft
Yeah.
and everything is being done exactly what you would want from a pilot.
Sir, at Chitkara, what are the 2-3 futuristic fields you suggest for our students they can look into?
Walia ji, first and foremost, I know it's going to be a bit of a cliche kind of answer, but first and foremost priority, keeping in mind the geopolitics and the present scenario, the armed forces, the kind of development and the kind of machinery and the weapon systems that are being acquired by the military are state of the art. They are very futuristic. So this is going to be one of the most wanted and in demand future, that is the armed forces, Army, Navy and Air Force.
Right.
In terms of subjects, it's going to be anything related to do with electrical engineering,
Okay.
aerospace, robotics, AI and material science.
Right.
Because this is going to be the mainstay in the coming at least 30 years. This is what is going to be building the future of the earth. There are a lot of pressure in terms of communication equipment, in terms of observation equipment, in terms of stealth technology, in terms of nanotechnology, artificial intelligence.
And very happily, I'm sharing with you, we have an amazing award-winning lab of nanotechnology in
I
our
would love to
university.
have a look and interact.
No, sure.
Yes.
And also, as you mentioned, you know, the forces are the future.
Yes.
We got a massive, as I mentioned, the Maritime Engineering
Yes, I met the
Institute, and
students,
hopefully,
yes.
probably next time we have your interaction with the
Definitely.
students there.
I mean, the institution is contributing the biggest manner possible. And you see, in coming times, the country with a very strong military is the one which is going to be the most secure and going to dominate.
Right. Now, that's how futuristic viewpoint students of today should hold. That is what the message is from Major Toor. He insists on looking at robotics as a career, go into electronic engineering, look very strongly in AI. On a personal side, he wants you to build your character where you are physically strong, because he believes that being physically strong will make you mentally strong. You can think better. With that note, I'll request him to give a message into the camera for Chitkara University students on what is the path ahead for them, what are the golden nuggets from you. Over to you, please.
My message to the students of Chitkara is that the opportunities as of now are limitless. So that becomes a challenge. When you get ample number of options, it's difficult to maintain the laser focus. So all that I can tell them right now, I'm sure there are going to be more future interactions as well, that you have to maintain that laser focus. If you are really bent upon achieving your objective and goal, you got to be really focused. You cannot get carried away regarding something that attracts your attention and then you change your focus that has been for quite a while to another objective. So you got to do justice with your own self and thought process. You got to be sincere towards yourself by homing on to exactly what you want and what you want to achieve and thrive. So that is my main message to the students. Hang in there, remain laser focused, and whatever you've planned, I am sure it's for a reason and you will deliver if you are adamant. And there is a word called zid. अपनी जिद पे अड़े रहोगे तो अपने मुकाम पे पहुंचोगे, वरना खेल क्या उससे खेला जिससे कुछ नहीं झेला. So all the best to you, and I am always available to guide you through during your toughest of times, good times. Thank you and all the best. Jai Hind.